We're going to start with my stupid turtle, which I named Ryuk, and this one's named Timmy. Don't ask why. Right. I don't like it because its tongue broke and just looks derpy. His tail was sexy though. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that tail. It took forever to do this, by the way, you guys. Shauna and me added a decoration on top. This wasn't actually, we weren't going to actually do this, but we did. Yeah, just a random design on top of the turtle itself, really. But yeah, I still kept him. And this was marbling. It's one of my favourite ones, and I'm actually going to put this into a frame. It was mixed with coloured ink and oil, because it's one of those weird tray things where you imprint it and then it, I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a professional, but yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but me and Beth took a picture, aka Wolfie and me, and it's supposed to be a heart, like a friendship thing, and it flopped with wire. I was shit at wire, I kept cutting my fingers and everything, and everyone thought I was painting food. Don't criticize me on this. I know it looks terrible. Right, okay, this is actually one of my favourite pictures I've done in art. I've used chalk and rubbers, and that's pretty much it, really. But yeah, I'm going to put this one into a frame following along with my marbling, and yeah. This was for my personal project. I never got to complete this completely. My design was based on Kokichi Oma. He gave me motivation to do my English work and my art course. So I loved him, and he's my fictional husband of one of many. Yet again, you can see that it's incomplete. And I'm not very happy that someone ruined this part. I know I'm like overreacting just a little bit, almost like those annoying girls with the long acrylic nails. If one's missing, then someone's gonna bitch about it. That's just how it is. You can understand when you love something so much and it's gonna get taken away from you. That's when a bitch will get stabbed. This is literally one of my most hated projects of marking, printing, whatever it was again, I forgot, but I despised it. I feel like the paint ruined the markings behind the image. I will show a before and after picture of this, but I was very annoyed. This was one of my least favourite ones, and I hate oil pastels. This took forever to do, and this was really hard because this looked to be 3D, and that was the whole aim, to make it look like still life, because that's what we were doing. And the mini stars aren't here, like the white stars, and the reason for this is because I was too lazy to finish this completely and my hands were too tired. This yet again was one of my least favourite ones because in art I do not like it when we have to use a projector. To me that is cheating when things are being traced, and I often find myself trying to do things free-handedly instead of projecting it because I don't feel like I'm challenging myself in any way. But this was supposed to be a portrait of me. I'm gonna rip this up eventually, so I'm just saying this now. So it makes it look like I'm not a corpse, because look at me. I am a bloody corpse, like what is this? Anyways, yeah, I didn't get the skin tone right at all. I was messing around with paint, I was actually very bored. I went over this again on the symbol. You can't see the symbol anymore. I forgot to go on top of it, and I gave up and never went back to this ever again because I hated my cast drum. I actually threw it in the bin and someone took it out, so I was pissed off with that. So yeah. So right, we had a few lessons where we had to make a monster mask, but in this case I took inspiration on what I was nibbling and drinking because I love energy drinks. So I did the can opening thing, so you can see that this is the end part, and the whole point was to layer it so there's more than one layers basically to make it more 3D like. And then Alex got bored, so she used the glue gun to make little tiny anal beads. I'm joking. Yeah, and then we have to make the stand. Bottom bit pissed me off because it looks grey and that was supposed to be white, and yeah, basically that's basically it. Only reason why I chose to do this specifically is because I get anxious or nervous and I end up nibbling can openings. Yeah, please don't judge me. It's better than biting on clothing and creating holes, let's just say that. This will be in a frame soon, but I wasn't very happy with this, so I did it free-handedly, and it looks nothing like Nishinoya from Haikyuu, and I've tried, but yeah, it's not the best mono printing I've ever done, or whatever you call it, with that roller thing with paint. I don't bloody know. This kind of was challenging, but I'm actually quite proud considering I had to write this backwards just by using a pencil, dig into polystyrene to carve the letters in, and considering it looks very neat, I'm actually very glad that I got the spellings right and everything. So yeah, I'm quite proud of this printing. I found this one very time consuming and it wasn't the bestest, and I hated this, and people thought this looked like nipples and tits, and yeah, I will say no more. Peel and reveal was my least favourite, and I look like fucking Voldemort or something now because I flopped here and I had to cover it up, and now my face looks wonky, and I'm gonna bin this and I don't care, and please don't say this is good because it's shit, and you know it's shit. This was made out of clay. Please don't tell me or ask me what the hell I was making. I don't bloody know. It was originally supposed to be a tentacle, but it's not now, and now it looks more like an inappropriate object, and it looks like a banana or corn, or yeah, something that adults use in their own time. And I only use this. No wait, that sounds wrong. I only made this because I had leftover clay and I love the curves. I actually made this bowl out of clay with my own two hands, and the painting, well, me and Courtney wanted to be experimental, and yeah, and then we glazed it and it ended up like that. Look how neat that is. Right, actually, this one's kind of a funny story. So, as me, Courtney, Frankie, Beth, and James, and a few other people were making glazed or glass cups and stuff. So, yeah, I was bored, and as I was helping for like the workshop in college, I ended up wanting to make my own, and I was random. So this is Squiddle. I randomly drew him out and then I stuck him on because I felt like it. So we gave him his name and all these other things like ninja stars, and one was supposed to be an emoji, but I don't know where that one was or where it is on here, but I wanted to ask a lot of people to put this on, and then I'll basically glaze it and then I'll keep it as a keepsake basically. This skull was supposed to be based on like emotions, or it was just a random skull, but we had to make a load of random patterns. Yeah, mine was quite weird. That stands for dead, by the way. That was supposed to be a D. It looks nothing like a D. This is supposed to be the brain of the skull. It's wearing earphones, and this is sex cuffs, and these are tears, these are stitches. So this is supposed to represent silence, and sex cuffs are like sexual and domestic abuse, which is what I was trying to like make it represent. and obviously headphones are supposed to like block out certain things that's happened, or you're made to what the abuser might tell that person. These tears represents the pain that that person has endured through the time of their abuse. So my one was supposed to be quite meaningful rather than random patterns all over, so I just wanted it to be like an extra thing, like there's a point to it basically, not just random crap on it. We did do shibori and we did do heat pressing, and I just can't be asked to show the rest because of how tired I am. I'll chuck them in the bin. This is literally what I meant by a friendship thing with me and Beth's hands here, so that's what I literally meant. Great. There was more mono printing or whatever it was, marbling, but I chose to, well, I don't know, because me and Courtney did have quite a few, but because we didn't leave our initials on our work, we had to kind of share it between each other because we didn't know who did what, and that's kind of sad.
I like them.
I like them too as well. Which one would you keep?
Huh?
Which one would you keep?
See, I'm letting you have that one.
What, this one?
No, I'm letting you have that one, aren't I? Because we're doing a switch, aren't we?
Yeah.
Either them two, I won't go for that one.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's nice. This was called image manipulation. So this took long enough to do, but it was quite great. And then this one was supposed to be selfies, and then in the end I did that one like I previously showed. Some of them just, they're weird. Just a few images, and I hate this book. Me and my friends did this with torches in the dark. I love that one. As you can see, we've done a lot of teamwork. We've worked really hard. We've done multiple things together, and I did make a clay tentacle, but that flopped in the end because now it's broken. Like, bruh. This had completely flopped. I didn't like this. This was a random doodle because my mum sold my violin and pretended like it never existed, and I requested to have it back, and then she refused to give it to me, even though it was my 14th birthday present. These Happy Hippo chocolate things were supposed to be flying out across, but I couldn't be asked to finish it. And all of this has some meaning. My final piece is supposed to be child orientated. I chose to use partly Melanie Martinez style. The theme was mainly sad, happy, reflecting in between two. Each icon in the drawing has a dark or rather disturbing story behind them. I found this so because it was hard to come up with an idea and an inspiration by an artist, it took long enough to finally decide. Since Melanie Martinez songs have relation to my past, I chose to draw what came to mind in my childhood, as it wasn't all too pleasant. For instance, Happy Hippo Kinder. I enjoyed eating chocolate when I was little, but then my father back then never told me why he or anyone why he kept going to court repeatedly. The box in the centre is supposed to represent the organ heart originally. The letter D stood for damage. The alphabet block was huge and was a celebration gift for my birth. Later on, my parents broke it and used to put filthy money in a storage used it as a storage box instead. The alcohol bottle is called bird cider. This relates to bad influence and encouragement I had from ex-friends and family members. The 5 alphabet block says pain. This was not a random idea for the 5th block. I drew a baby chibi whale below the word pain. I was trying to show that it stood for the Blue Whale Challenge. The whale had been purposely drawn at the bottom because it's a true known fact that whales swim deep depths of the ocean, 100 meters or even just about over 330 feet. It's been said that they don't swim too deep because they want to prevent the loss of their time to rise back up. I used to name my whale Yuna. It means dark river and dream in Japanese, hence why I changed my middle name. And I see it as a represent symbol, also wanting a tattoo mark that I have survived the game.